on YouTube. Welcome to the Johnson Knife and Tool channel. Thomas here. So in my last video I was trying to explain edge geometry, but you know, I kind of rewatched that when I edited it and when I posted it. I was kind of thinking maybe, you know, I was trying to show it, the profile of that particular knife. I've already ground it and sent it off, so you could see, you know, the angles on both sides there, but it just wouldn't focus, so it didn't work. And as such, I kind of figured, you know, maybe I lost my point there. So I wanted to elaborate a little bit more, but you know, most people when they first start out grinding the profile, oh, come on. As you can see there's two lines, railroad tracks basically. You know, they're instead of a center line, you have the two railroad tracks there, and as such, you know, when you're grinding, you know, each side you want to grind to one line, and then what you have in the left over, at least in this case, is about 20/1000ths of an inch, and then once you heat treat, then you sharpen from there. But I wanted to kind of show you on the whiteboard here behind me, maybe a little bit more detail and how that works, and the reason why you do and you don't get a sharp edge. Okay, so bear with me, I'm not the greatest artist here, but if you were to cut this tip off, and you would have basically a square, and if you look at it, you know, point on, after it's ground, you basically, at least in the case of what I do, because I do flat grinding, you have a triangle. You'll notice that there's a little piece right there, and that would represent hollow ground. If you know, that's what it would look like if you hollow ground it. Now this one represents if you did your plunge cut for the grind, and you go down to the railroad tracks, and then you basically have a triangle with the flat there, and then you would when you're sharpening it, then you would basically make a little triangle like such and such. All right, now, you know, this one's obviously fatter than this one, and this could represent, if you wanted it, if this was say an axe grind, that would be fine, you know, for splitting or something. But if you want a really keen edge, then you need a smaller point. And basically, if you look at this, this is the shoulder here, the shoulder here. This one's much smaller. It's like this one. So if this one came down as such, and that was say 40/1000ths, and you ground, you'd have 20/1000ths out there. So that's what you kind of want to do. You got to I know this is probably a little confusing, but once you do it in theory and in practice and everything, and you actually see what's going on, it makes more sense. But you know, and that's kind of like a lot of people do, man, and myself included, is you know, instead of having a nice thin edge, you make it too thick because you're not 100% sure what you're doing, basically. And like I said, if this was a hollow grind, it'd be the same thing. You know, if you have too thick here at the shoulder where it's going to come down, you know, say 15 degrees or whatever, it's not going to be sharp. It's not going to sharpen. And I don't know, let's see if I can get that in there or not. Yeah, see right there's a really good shot of a really thick edge. It's not going to get sharp. It's just not. And there's an edge that's really sharp. I don't know if that helps or not. I hope that helps. If it's still confusing, you know, like I said, say something in the comments and I'll try to explain it further. But I mean, you know, if you think about it, it's a triangle, and then you have to make another triangle, you know, and depending on where you start the second triangle is going to determine on how, you know, fat the tip is. So, yeah.